And I'm out here through the spirit of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Right? Prophesy the downfall of America, which is known as Babylon the Great in the scriptures. It's going to be destroyed in the third world, the nuclear war. Thus says the Lord. Alright? America is Babylon the Great, according to the Bible. And the Most High is going to destroy it from off the face of the earth. Alright? And wake up, you people of Negro and Indian descent. You make up the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. And I'm out here for y'all. Alright? It's time for y'all to wake up. You're the biblical Hebrew Israelites according to the Bible, the Holy Scriptures. Alright? I'm going to start off with the epilogue of the book From Babylon to Timbuktu by Rudolph R. Windsor. Alright? I'm going to start off by reading the epilogue From Babylon to Timbuktu by Rudolph R. Windsor. Alright? Because it's relevant to the time we're living in. Understand? And it's scriptural. It's also scriptural. Alright? I'm going to start at the second paragraph. It says, considering all the rampant violence in the United States, there are many indications that the March on Washington will erupt into violence. The power structure concedes nothing without a demand. When the government refuses to effect reform and to implement justice, the people lose respect for the institutions of law and order. Law and order without justice are worthless in a democracy. When peaceful demonstrations do not soften the attitude of the government, militant and vigorous tactics must be employed by the militants in order to prevail upon the government. These tactics sometimes come close to anarchy. At this tense point, a mass movement can travel in one or two directions. If the government concedes to the demands of the people, all well and good. The mass movement falls apart because it has accomplished its objective. On the other hand, if the government refuses the demands of the mass movement, it generally suppresses the rebellion or civil disobedience. When the people continue to rebel and the government continue to suppress, this condition leads to fascism and dictatorship. There follows mass murder, which is committed in the name of law and order. Alright? And that's from the epilogue of From Babylon to Timbuktu by Rudolph R. Windsor. Alright, now let me get into it, into more specific means. Alright? It says, considering all the rampant violence in the United States, there are many indications that the March on Washington will erupt into violence. Man, now you see that happen, right? With the Occupy Wall Street, right? When the Occupy Wall Street, they took over New York and Oakland, right? And in California, all over the states, right? And they had one in D.C. What happened? It erupted into violence. There was a whole lot of violence that happened on the Occupy Wall Street movement, right? It says, the power structure concedes nothing without demand. The power structure concedes nothing without demand. Meaning, a closed mouth don't get fed. Understand? A closed mouth don't get fed. If you don't tell the government, right, what you want, they'll never give in to anything. Understand? The status quo will remain as it is to this very day. Understand? I'm going to read that one more time. It says, the power structure concedes nothing without demand. Meaning the government, they ain't going to give into nothing without a demand. All right? So if the people keep their mouth shut, they'll never get what they want. A closed mouth never get fed. Understand? Now let's take it back to the civil rights movement, right? We were saying we want justice. We haven't gotten that up until this very day. Understand? We used to march around saying no justice, no peace. We haven't gotten any justice here. All right? It says, when the power structure concedes nothing without demand. When the government refused to effect reform and to implement justice, the people lose respect for the institutions of law and order. Law and order without justice is worthless in a democracy, right? And when the government refused to listen to the demands of the people, people lose respect for law and order. And that is happening this very day before your eyes, all right? Look at what happened when you got these brothers getting killed by the police, all right? Getting killed by the police and nothing come out of it. They had no guns, no drugs. Matter of fact, in that bar train station, the brother was handcuffed, face down, and still got shot in the back of the head. They have another incident where a brother got searched twice, handcuffed, put in the back of a police car, and still got shot in the head, right?
I can't see how. I can't see how.
Teresa Carter just doesn't understand what happened to her son Chavis in the back of a police car in Jonesboro, Arkansas. Officers picked him up. They say he had drugs on him and missed a court date on more drug charges. What happened next, though, is where the confusion starts.
As protocol, he was handcuffed behind his back, double locked, and searched.
Handcuffed, double locked, and searched. But somehow, minutes later, police say they heard a thumping noise, turned around, and found Chavis dead, shot in the head in the back of the squad car.
Any given officer has missed something on a search, be it drugs, be it knives, be it razor blades. This instance happened to be a gun.
They're still investigating, but they think Chavis, handcuffed in that squad car, somehow managed to pull out a hidden gun and shoot himself in the head.
What do you think happened to your son? I think they killed him. They killed him. They killed him. I mean, my son went suicidal.
In fact, she says he called his girlfriend while pulled over to say he would call her shortly from jail. Even more, the mother says she was told her son was shot in the right temple when she says he was left-handed. She says it just doesn't add up.
They searched him twice. I mean, I just want to know what really happened. They killed him.
And there's no justice for that. There's no justice for these things that go on. All right? It says, when peaceful demonstrations do not soften the attitude of the government, militant and vigorous tactics must be employed by the militant in order to prevail upon the government. All right? And read out one more time. When peaceful demonstrations do not soften the attitude of the government, militant and vigorous tactics must be employed by the militants in order to prevail upon the government. Right? When peaceful demonstration ain't working, now you're going to have to pick up arms. That's what your Second Amendment is for. The Second Amendment, right, is to throw off a tyrannical government. Understand? But y'all don't know that. Your own constitution, and y'all don't know that. Understand? But right now the government is taking steps, understand, to do away with your Second Amendment. Because they know what's coming down the pipeline. Y'all don't know. Understand? And y'all don't even have the guts to stand up. You understand? Y'all don't even have the guts to stand up. Alright? It says, when peaceful demonstrations do not soften the attitude of the government, militant and vigorous tactics must be employed by the militants in order to prevail upon the government. That's your patriots and these paramilitary groups these militias, right? They're supposed to rise up. Where are they at right now? Understand? They're cowards. They're scared. Understand? It says these tactics sometimes come close to anarchy. Understand? And that's what's going to take place here to really set things off. Understand? When the people ain't getting what they want and the government is continuing to squeezing the people, we're going to have civil unrest. We're going to have anarchy and chaos in these streets. And the government know it. Y'all don't know it yet, but the government knows what's going to take place here. So they're making preparations for such things. All right? It says, at this tense point, a mass movement can travel in one or two directions. And that's what's going to take place right now, right? This thing is going to end up in going in one or two directions. Understand, if the government ain't conceding to the people, if the government ain't hearkening to its citizens, one or two things are going to happen. Right? It says, at this tense point, a mass movement can travel in one or two directions. If the government concedes to the demands of the people, all well and good. The mass movement falls apart because it accomplishes the lot. Read that again. At this tense point, a mass movement can travel in one or two directions. If the government concedes to the demands of the people, all well and good. The mass movement falls apart because it has accomplished its objective. So the first one is, if the government gives in to the demands of the people, right? If the government gives in to the demands of the people, all is well and good. The movement will fall apart. The uprising will fall apart. Right? Why? Because the people would have accomplished their objective. And that's military term for y'all, if y'all don't know. Understand? That's military term, man. Understand? When the government sending a military force, they got an objective to accomplish. Understand? If your job is to go into a country and kill 1 million people, understand? Say you go into the country and the people automatically give themselves up to you. The bottom line is you lost because you did not complete your objective. Your objective was to kill 1 million people. Understand? In order for you to win anything, you must complete your objective, what you set out to get. If you don't get what you set out for, meaning you lost. No matter what it is, you lose. Understand? If your objective is to cross the finish line, and you don't cross the finish line, you lose. You didn't complete your objective. Understand? It says, and that's at the first part, right? I'm reading that again. It says, if the government concedes to the demand of the people, all well and good, the mass movement falls apart because it has completed objective, right? The movement will fall apart, and of course it will, because they have completed their objective. The government give in to the people's demands, all right? But what if that don't happen? That's the second arm. That's the second arm situation. I mean, the second scenario. That is the second scenario. All right? Second scenario. All right? On the other hand, if the government refuses the demands of the mass movement, it generally suppresses the rebellion or civil disobedience. Meaning, if the government don't give in, and you see that happening right now, the government ain't giving in one iota to the people. Not one. You got protests saying stop the wars. There's more wars keep popping off, right? America got their troops in Jordan, are ready to go into Syria, right? The people wasn't with invading Iraq. They did it anyway. Understand? The government ain't giving in to nothing. The people did not want to give the bankers the bailout. Understand? The people said no to the banker bailout. The government still gave on the bank their bailout. Why? It said they were too big to fail. The government is not giving in to the demands of the people. All right? says, on the other hand, if the government refuses the demands of the mass movement, it generally suppresses the rebellion of civil disobedience. Right? When the people continue to rebel and the government continue to suppress, this condition leads to fascism and dictatorship. You see that happening right now. The people are continuing to rebel and the government is continuing to suppress. All right? What do you think happens when you have a protest and the government puts you in what's called a free speech zone, away from the people who you're trying to protest?
Jesus bless you.
Huh?
Jesus bless you.
He bless you. You're a Hebrew Israelite according to the Bible. All right? You're the Israelite. You're the Hebrew Israelite according to the Bible. Right? You're God's chosen people. That's right. In the Bible, the God's chosen people. Huh?